Hi, welcome to Luxury in Moderation, where we appreciate the finer things in life without going overboard. So today I wanted to compare the Birkin 30 with my new Garden Party 30 and my existing Garden Party 36. So I don't know if you've noticed, but hiding in my background in the last few videos has been the Garden Party 30 in the gold color, which I got back in March. And I've been using it, and I didn't want to talk about it until I had something helpful to share. So hopefully this comparison will be useful, and if not, please let me know what your questions are in the comments below. I would love to be a resource for you. Before we get into it, if you're new, welcome. My name's Joanne, and I love to talk about luxury handbags and other luxury experiences. So if you like that kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So let's get into the details of the Garden Party 30. This is in the 30 size, which means it's 30 centimeters on the bottom, and this is in the gold color with the white contrast stitching. It has palladium hardware, and this is what the bag looks like. I first saw the Garden Party 30 size in the Madison Avenue store in New York, and it looked so freaking adorable. I actually thought it was a smaller size than 30 because it looked to me like it was smaller than my Birkin 30, but when you pin up the sides like this, it obviously makes the bag look a little bit smaller. And it was just sitting there in the glass case, and it was super, super adorable. I was like, it's so cute. The version that I got as well is in the all leather, which means that there is a zip pocket on the inside. My Garden Party 36, which I got in the canvas, there is no zip pocket on the inside. So that's the difference if you get a leather version or a canvas version. Like if I had gotten the 36 in a leather, there also would have been a zip pocket on the inside. The leather for the Garden Party is usually a Naganda leather. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that is what this leather is, I'm assuming. And a lot of people I know don't really like the Garden Party. They're like, oh, it's just a rectangular bag, but I love this shape. My mom always had rectangular bags going up, so it's just natural for me to also adore it. I do store the bag with it unclipped, because if you keep the sides pinched for a very long period of time, you can see that the leather here is going to just crease and probably crack at some point. So I was told to just store it open. Usually when I carry the small one, I leave it open like this because I throw a lot of stuff in it and it's easier to get in and out, but I also like to carry it when it is clipped. The other reason why I absolutely love the Garden Party bag is because it is low-key. So if you've been listening to me for the past, I don't know, year or half a year, I've been saying how I wanted to be more low-key. I didn't want something super recognizable. I feel a little bit awkward sometimes if I'm carrying like a Chanel and I'm going to a casual place. So with the Garden Party being so low-key, there's no branding on it. On the little button in the center, it does say Hermes, but who's going to read that? It's just a plain leather bag, and that is what I love about it. Like, I feel like I can take this anywhere. It fits in, nobody's gonna scrutinize me that much, and it's just filling that space in my collection. The other thing I wanted to mention is when I first got the Garden Party 30, the sides were really like bulged out. It seemed like this bag was stored upright, and the weight of the leather was kind of pulling the structure downwards. So you can kind of see like there's a little bulge, there's a little curvature here, and it was much, much worse when I first unboxed it. It was also on the other side. That's one of the reasons why I decided to get an organizer for this bag. So I got 3 Samorga organizers, one for the Garden Party 30, one for my Kelly 28, and then the last one for my Garden Party 36. And I wanted to put the organizer in here so then I could actually store the bag kind of laying flat, so I could kind of fix the bulge that was happening. So I'll like alternate which side the bag is laying on, so that I can, you know, kind of make the bulge a little bit less curved and just more straight. So it is better now, and you know, sometimes I will store it upright, but I think over time, like, that will continue to happen where the weight of the leather will pull that down. The price of this bag I paid was $4,081. That was including tax. So excluding tax, the retail price I paid was $3,775. Now, comparing that to the Birkin 30, obviously there is a huge price difference. So the price that I paid for the Birkin 30 was $10,505. I don't know what the current retail price is, but I'm sure you can look it up. And just to give you a side-by-side comparison, they are different leathers. My Birkin is in the Epsom leather, but they should be both 30 centimeters on the bottom, right? They should be the exact same length. In terms of the rest of the dimensions, the Birkin is a little bit deeper, so like on the depth. The Birkin is 15 centimeters or about 6 inches, whereas the Garden Party is only 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches. So just 1 centimeter difference. For the height, the Garden Party is just a touch taller. So the Garden Party is 8.5 inches or 21 centimeters. And then the Birkin is 8 inches or 20 centimeters. So just a centimeter shorter. And then in terms of the handle drop, they are the exact same handle drop from the back of the Birkin, because the front of the Birkin is a little bit shorter, so this drop is going to be a little bit longer, but in terms of the back, it's about 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and that is the same for the Garden Party 30, 4 inches or about 10 centimeters. Now, in terms of using these two bags, obviously, as I mentioned, the Birkin is much more high profile. It's, if you know what you're looking at, you also know it's more than double the price of the Garden Party. For me, I found that I was getting worried that my Garden Party handle was gonna get dirty with, you know, the dirt on my hands or oils or whatever, because of the Nagoda leather. And it actually made me appreciate my Epsom leather on my Birkin a little bit more, because, you know, for me, leather touch and feel is very important. And when you touch Epsom leather, you know, I got it because I love how durable and light it is, and that really mattered to me. But it does feel a little plasticky. You know, it's not like a very soft and supple, but I've come to realize that, you know, now when I carry the Birkin, I don't worry about my hand getting the handles dirty as much, because I know it's a very durable leather. That might not be true. Obviously, the handles are still getting dirty and all of that, but at least when it comes to just the leathers themselves, when I touch it, for some reason I just feel like, you know, the Birkin handles are a little bit more durable because it's Epsom leather. Okay, so I have a rule where I don't put my handbags on the ground. I think grounds are disgusting, and I would not want to put my precious bags on the ground and then put it back on my body. I mean, you know, some dirt and whatever must be getting on my shoulders and my body. So I always tried to put my bag either behind me on the chair or balance it on my knees. However, I was forced to put this bag on the ground. Now, granted, it was a carpeted ground. It wasn't like at some, you know, restaurant, which is like disgusting and dirty. But, you know, I placed it very carefully, trying not to drag it in case there was like a small rock that could like scratch it or anything. And then obviously I came right back home and immediately like cleaned it and made sure like there was no scratches or anything. I'm pretty sure there was some micro scratches, but I did wipe everything with my leather cleaner to kind of just condition it as well as clean it. And I think it's done a pretty good job. So I'm pretty happy with this Nagoda leather. It's very textured. So it has that pebbly texture. And then the bottom is the same. There's no feet, unfortunately, but there is this reinforced leather part with their straps touch. So, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's going to be wear on the corners over time. They're just smoother than the rest of the pebbled parts, and I'm going to keep an eye on that. But in terms of leather quality, I just wanted to mention that I put it on the ground, it survived. I'm sure the leather is going to go do great over time. Okay, so then the last thing I wanted to talk about was comparing the 30 versus the 36, and specifically because I have them in two different materials. One is leather, one is canvas. Now I've had the 36 size for 2 years now, and I didn't get a lot of use out of it last year, but this year for some reason it's been, I've been using it for several things where I need to bring, a folder or a laptop, something that just, needs this size to fit into. I've noticed that maybe just, use over time that the canvas has softened a little. So it's gotten a little bit like floppier, maybe as it was designed because, everything starts out stiffer. I don't love it when my bag kind of pulls out like that. I don't like that shape for the garden party, but that's just, obviously a personal preference. I would rather it be either straight up and down or pinched in the middle. So I still adore the look of this bag. I think specifically for me, it's the canvas with the dark leather. I think it looks very classic. I just love canvas in general, and if I could get more canvas bags, I would. And I've also been forced to put this, in a not as clean or safe place, and it's been doing pretty good. So yeah, I just wanted to mention, if you're looking at the garden party, whether if it's in the leather or the canvas, pros and cons of each. Obviously, the canvas is going to be lighter. Depends on if you like it looking floppy after a few years or not. And then obviously the leather is going to be heavier, but you do get the zipper. But then, as durable and high quality as this leather is, it's still different than the durability of the Epsom. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about any of these bags. I hope this comparison was helpful for you. I'm going to leave all the dimensions in the description box below, so make sure to check that out. Plus, any questions you have, I love these bags and I want to share that with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.